I was worried about it, but
I mean, for the center area.
yeah.
Ooh, I got 2 jets.
Oh, really? Not a jet. I got you. Oh my gosh, did you ride Rockin'?
Oh, I've ridden it before.
No, I know, but this time instead, you know, they had Starfield before. They had pictures.
What?
Yeah.
Dang it, I need to ride it. I have so much to do tonight.
I got so many. I have paper fast passes, and I was like, "Hey, want to take a fast pass?" They're like, "No." Alright. They had single rider open, and then they closed it. So like, I don't know. They're fickle. I'm having a good time.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm Star Wars Galactic Night welcome to Warren Davis.
Wow, the force is strong in here tonight, or it could be just the humidity. Welcome everyone, I'm Warwick Davis and it is my absolute pleasure to be back here once again at Star Wars Galactic Night. You having a good time this evening? Yes, now the Boston spies tell me there might be a few Star Wars fans in the house tonight, am I right? Fantastic, then some of you may recognise me as Waldo Weasel from the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Or perhaps as Woolivan from The Force Awakens. Or even Wheaty Sayubi from Row One. There is a face only a mother would love. Or perhaps as my cameo in Solo, a Star Wars story. You've seen that movie? Yeah. Fantastic. But most of you will recognise me as Wicket the Ewok from Return of the Jedi. Cue spontaneous R from the audience. Now, you know, it's an absolute thrill for me to be part of Star Wars, not only as an actor, but also as a fan. And tonight, we're going to hear some really exciting news about the future of Star Wars. Are you ready to go inside the galaxy's edge? Personally, I can't wait to explore all the brand new planet of Batuu has to offer. Very exciting. You know, I was first introduced to Star Wars when I was just 7 years old. I went to the movie theatre and I saw Star Wars A New Hope, and I had some action figures, and I would immerse myself in that world through those action figures. And then when I was 11 years old, I was cast in Return of the Jedi. And I was on the sets, and I was able to wander and explore and battle stormtroopers and imagine the possibilities of a real live Star Wars experience. It was fantastic. And now we come to the point where we're actually going to be able to do this. You know, and on the movie, somebody would say cut and it was all over. But on Batuu, no one's going to say cut. It's an immersive experience, a place you can explore somewhere on the galaxy's edge, and I personally can't wait. And I think we're ready right now to find out more from the architects of this brand new world. And to help us do that, please welcome your host, Mr. David Collins. Here he is. Here comes David. In your own time.
Good morning. So great to see you.
Nice to see you as well, sir.
And congratulations on your part in Solo, a Star Wars story.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It was, you know, it's such a pleasure every time that they asked me to go back and be part of another Star Wars movie. And this one in particular was a delight for me because I got to work with my old friend, Mr. Ron Howard, once again. It was the first time we worked together since we did Willow 30 years ago. I'd love to do something, if you're up for this, right? Ron, you know, he's just being introduced to this world of Star Wars fandom, and he doesn't really realise at this point how fantastic and loyal all you fans are. I mean, you're absolutely fantastic. So I don't know, we have the house lights up for a minute, because I'd love to do a video for Ron right now.
Yeah!
What I'd like you all to do is if you can say this, you can say, hey Ron, we love Solo and the Force is strong with you, okay? So hey Ron, We love Solo, the Force is strong with you. And I'm going to tweet that to him, and he's going to get a taste of the love of the Star Wars fans, okay?
Hey Ron, we love Solo, the Force is strong with you. I'm ready. You guys
Okay,
ready?
so I'm going to say rolling, and then we're going to do a 3, 2, 1. You can lead us, David. Okay. Let me just, that's a photo.
Hey Ron.
It's all going wrong here, hang on.
Technical difficulty, stand by.
My word, why does this happen? When people have selfies with me, their cameras malfunction, and I can see exactly what's happening now. It happened to
Now,
me.
I don't have Ron Howard's phone number, but, oh, you got it.
I'm ready. Okay, so.
Hey Ron, we love Solo, the Force is strong.
Here we go,
Ready?
here we go, ready?
3, 2, 1.
Hey Ron, we love Solo! The Force is strong with you!
Thank you everybody, that's fantastic. Wow, well I've got to get off now into the park to set up tonight's big finale happening at 11:45. So make sure you're all there, you're all invited. Have a great time and enjoy the show with David.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. Thanks everybody. Cheers guys.
How many of you saw Solo over the weekend? See it? Yeah, well, I won't give it away for those of you who haven't seen it, but I was at the premiere in Hollywood, and when Warwick appeared and we recognized him on screen, the place absolutely went nuts and cheered. It's not a Star Wars movie without Warwick Davis, am I right? Good job, Warwick. Welcome to Galactic Nights and this panel that I'm so excited about inside Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. My name is David Collins, I'm a sound editor and mixer at Skywalker Sound. I've also been lucky enough to be a voice actor in the last 4 Star Wars films. And like you, I'm a huge Star Wars fan and have been since I was a kid, since before I even remember Star Wars. It came out when I was so little. It's just always been such a huge part of my life. And I can't believe what's happening right now. It's such a great time to be a Star Wars fan. With new films, animation, video games, books, comics, and if you're a fan of these 2 things, which are my 2 favorite things in the world, Star Wars and Disney parks, we're seeing it, right? We're seeing it come together on a scale that is just unprecedented. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is under construction right over there. I know you've all seen it. And tonight, we're going to hear from the Imagineers that are putting this together. We're going to be honorary Imagineers tonight, right here at the Epic Stunt Theater at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And we're going to get a little bit of insight into their process, but also, they're going to reveal some things to us tonight that are exclusive to this event that have never been seen before. You guys ready? Let's not waste any more time. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Imagineers Eric, John, Margaret, and Scott. Come on out. Hello there. Thank you all so much for coming and taking the time to discuss Galaxy's Edge with us and taking time out of your busy schedules. I'm just so excited to hear what you have to say.
And I think we're the excited ones. We love sharing this work with you guys, the fans. You know, we are also fans, but we know we never lose sight of who we're doing all this work for, which is you guys. So anytime we get a chance to spend time with the Star Wars fans, our favorite guys and gals from across the galaxy, and share unique information with you all first, we're very, very happy to do that.
Well, why don't we kick things off by having you each introduce yourself and talk about your role in Imagineering.
My name is Eric Baker. I'm the creative director in charge of the thousands of pieces of props and set dressing that are going to help bring this world to life.
My name is John Georges. I'm the executive producer of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge here at Disney's Hollywood Studios. I've been at Walt Disney Imagineering for 30 years now, and I was actually fortunate enough to be part of the original Disney MGM studios when this park opened in 1989.
Yeah! 30 years! Put up!
My name is Margaret Carrison, and I'm a managing story editor at Imagineering. And my job is to develop and tie all of these Star Wars stories together in our parks, our resorts, and our cruise lines, and working together with our team and Lucasfilm to tell one Star Wars story.
That's like the coolest job in the world, Margaret. Come on.
Yeah, it kind of is. It is a dream job.
Thank you, Scott.
I'm Scott Trowbridge, and I get to work with these cool people and lead the teams around the world that are bringing Star Wars to life in our parks and resorts and cruise lines and any other place where we're going to create an experience that invites you to step into the world of Star Wars.
Fantastic. Well, we've got a real crew. So Scott, maybe you can kick things off by telling people who might not be as familiar with Galaxy's Edge what it is, what we can expect when it opens here at Hollywood.
Absolutely. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, we should probably say, is the largest single themed land expansion that we've ever done in the company. I guess we kind of felt like Star Wars was worth doing big. You guys agree? So we are going big. We are going ambitious. We are doing the biggest we've ever done, and we are bringing a whole planet to life. The planet, as you heard earlier, is the planet Batu. It is a remote trading port somewhere on the edge of wild space, kind of an exotic location. You know, I kind of think of it as a place that used to be a necessary stopover in the old days, where you had to stop to refuel and revision. But with the advent of hyperspace, you can kind of pass this planet by, and its prominence faded a little bit, right? It didn't become as important. But what that made it more interesting a location for was those people who didn't want to be in the mainstream, the smugglers or the bounty hunters, or the rogue adventurers who are looking to crew up for some maybe not quite above board mission into the unknown regions, or maybe just those who want to avoid the ever-expanding eye of the First Order. Basically, it's all the interesting people and us.
That's right. Perfect for Parkin.
Perfect for Parkin. A perfect place for us to discover our Star Wars story, right? We're building this place specifically so you can explore it and discover things, and there's layers of detail and layers of opportunity for you to engage in new Star Wars stories. Whether that just be kind of like wandering through the street market and taking in some of the local specialties, whether that be some of the local foods or beverages that are unique to this location, maybe going up to this counter here where there's spit roasting these giant hunks of space meat on this old pod racing engine. Space meat! Space meat! It won't be called that. But it's delicious, I promise you, right? Or maybe you just want to go to one of the local artisan stalls in this street market where they're handcrafting these amazing, only available on this planet kind of trinkets, whether they be, you know, toys or jewelry or clothes or all kinds of different things that you can only get here. You know, stuff from all over the galaxy, because it is a spaceport. Which also means there'll be spaceships. Anybody recognize this ship? You know, some say it just looks like a flying hunk of junk, but I think it has a certain je ne sais quoi about it, right? A certain specialness. Yes, it's the Millennium Falcon, and it is the stepping off point for one of our anchor attraction experiences that will invite you guys to all get into that cockpit, you and your flight crew. Sit behind the controls, take the controls of the fastest ship in the galaxy, and take it on an amazing intergalactic joyride. And I do mean you're in control, right? So you are really flying this ship. Our second big anchor attraction experience is maybe a little more epic Star Wars. Okay. Because we do find ourselves caught in the middle of an amazing battle between the First Order and the Resistance. It's kind of like all things Star Wars, that epic skill, that epic action, that epic drama, those epic characters. I should probably stop saying epic.
No, we're at the epic theater.
It's the epic theater. It is an epic experience. It's big. There's a lot of other things. There's a lot of other parts of this too, but that's a good start.
That is a lot. I mean, we haven't even started this panel yet, and that's already so much that you've already talked about that's coming to Hollywood Studios.
For the fans!
Yes.
I mean, all of you, listen, you know, we definitely are always mindful of, as fans ourselves, of what do you all want from this experience, and so that continues to be our North Star.
That's amazing, and I know, like me, a lot of you have probably seen that it's under construction. Anybody peek over the fence or try and grab a photo? I've been doing that. I swear I've taken photos of something under construction, which I don't think I've ever done before, going, you know. I'm so excited about what's coming here to Hollywood Studios. Where are we at today in May of 2018? Can you share an update?
It's, you know, the construction is going really well, moving very fast.
on site. If you like what you see from this side of the fence, our team has a chance to go and walk the site. I think we can't get over how big it is. At over 14 acres, as Scott said, it's the biggest thing we've ever built in any one of our parks. And I think, the level of detail. In fact, if you're interested, I think we brought a flyover video of some recent footage that we captured at the site.
Want to see it?
So here you can begin to see just the scope and scale of this attraction. Those tall rockwork spires reaching out to the sky. Down below, a lot of the construction in the village area on the planet of Batu. But just again, the scope and the magnitude of what we're building and the attention to every detail that's coming as we move through different phases of construction and installation. And the wonderful thing is, our team here in Orlando, all of our partners that are building this are as excited as we are, and hopefully you are, to see this become a reality. There's just a deep sense of pride in delivering the Star Wars story to all of you in a very authentic way.
Do we play this music for the construction workers every morning?
It plays in my head all the time.
That was amazing. That was amazing. Every time I see an update like that, and I see what's under construction at Galaxy's Edge, I just am so overwhelmed by the scope and scale of it. I mean, the amount of people that are coordinating and organizing and building this thing must just be overwhelming. I mean, I can't even get my taxes done, let alone have everyone working on such a massive project like that. Years in the making. You must have a huge team.
We do have a huge team. Around the world today, we have about almost 5,000 people working on this project.
Wow.
Yeah.
Around the world.
Around the world, and it really is around the world. And it's not just that there's a lot of them, but they're the most amazing group of talented individuals that I think we can put together. Here's the cool thing. When you call somebody and you're saying, "Hi, I'm calling from Imagineering and I want to talk about Star Wars," there's like nobody who doesn't answer the phone. That's a call that gets returned. And that has just allowed us to put together this amazing dream team of talent. Talented designers and fabricators and technology experts and fabrication experts. Because not only are we making new technology, we're putting Star Wars on screen, and we're doing all the kind of things that we've typically seen for Star Wars, but because we're bringing it to life, epic, did I mention the word epic? I think I might have mentioned it. At an epic scale, it requires us to go to places we've never been before in terms of, building giant things, and building more than one of them, and building spaceships and Millennium Falcons. So we have to go to people who are uniquely qualified to build those things at the level of quality and detail that we want. And that requires us to literally go all over the globe.
Do you have an example when you say all over the globe?
Sure. Maybe a good place to start would be like where Star Wars production started, and that's London in the United Kingdom. We actually do a lot of work in the UK. We had a design team that was based there. We do a lot of our production there, right alongside the experts who are making the next films, right? So as we're creating Star Wars and bringing it to life on the big screens for theaters, we're also doing the parts of our production for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge that you'll be able to take advantage of when we open here. And that is the same experts in costuming and hair and makeup and special effects and lighting and all the people that help bring Star Wars to life on screens. I actually sometimes wish we were only bringing it to life on the screens, because there's a certain, you can cheat a little bit, right? You saw in that video, we can green screen things, we can use some special effects. We don't get to do that when we're bringing the rest of Galaxy's Edge to life, because we are building it for reals. Right. So we don't get to kind of cheat that. So that's the challenge, but that's also the amazing opportunity.
So that's so exciting in terms of collaboration of a knowledge base working right alongside with the filmmakers, right there on set. You're shooting for Galaxy's Edge while they're shooting the films. You're building things while they're building things. What an incredible collaboration.
And it's only because of the amazing partners we have on our production team and at Lucasfilm and at ILM, and really working together to bring Star Wars to you guys in the way that you would expect it.
Well, you did mention a couple of other, you mentioned a word a few times, which was epic, but you mentioned partners across the world building something epic. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually John showed me a picture earlier this week of some work that he's overseeing actually in Asia, where we have some pretty big things underway.
And I think the jumping off point is making it real here. We're actually building AT-ATs right now. Full-size, real AT-ATs.
You're building AT-ATs.
We are. Right
You're
now.
at Hollywood Studios.
Full production, yes, and they may walk in any minute, so watch your back over there.
Wait. Hold on. Time out.
There they are.
There they are. Yeah, are they on the screen there? When you're saying you're building AT-ATs, you're building more than one.
We're building multiple AT-ATs. We are, that's true.
And to scale, full scale.
Full scale. And I think what's so amazing usually in the films, these are so big that they're done digitally typically. So this is the first time they've ever been translated full scale. And it's no small feat. It takes a lot of effort. And it's
not a feat.
Actually, a couple of them now, right? Just
Those are some
big shoes. They are.
Oh, we could do this all night.
We could. Oh, we shouldn't. No, and I think, again, Scott mentioned this partnership with Lucasfilm has given us complete access to the filmmakers and production designers. So the level of authenticity and detail and finish that we're bringing to these giant transports is really unprecedented. This next image is really just begins to show the scale.
Oh, wow.
We've never taken you inside the attraction before. So this is the first time you're seeing an actual photo from inside this attraction of the AT-ATs installed in our show.
They're up and built. Those are photos.
This is not Photoshop. This is not rendering. These are actually physical AT-ATs at full scale.
Right over here.
Right there.
Wow. Look at that. Look at the detail of that. Look how huge it is.
They're kind of scary. It's a little imposing. It's a little intimidating.
Yeah. So we have to go up against these?
Whether you like it or not. You may.
Really?
Yeah. Yes. Let's
come on. That's amazing. Full-size walkers, not one, more than one, right here in the park.
This is an epic story, right? Star Wars is filled with epic stories. This is an epic story. You're going to be invited to go on, be a part of this, and that includes, I think, encounters like this that are going to be hopefully amazing.
Well, this is the most you've led us inside of this other experience, this epic attraction. You've got the Falcon, and then you have this battle between the Resistance and the First Order. This is an incredible reveal here. Is there anything else that you can share about this experience?
We do. We actually have one more thing to share tonight. In addition to the Millennium Falcon, where you can hop on board that iconic ship and go off on your own Star Wars adventure, there's another ship. This is an active spaceport on the planet of Batuu. There's actually a Resistance troop transport ship that you will encounter. You may have seen some of this in the artwork that we've released previously. But this is a ship that's created just for this land and this story. And you'll see here that we actually also had a model of it last year at D23 Expo in Anaheim. So some of you may have seen that. It started as a miniature here in a model, but all of you will not fit in a miniature. So we're now in the process of ramping up to a full scale. And we have a couple of recent production photos of what that looks like at full size. Again, fully rendered, detailed, a little bit battle-worn. Clearly its journey to the planet Batuu has been a rough one. There's a lot of blaster marks on this sun side of the ship, but you can see the commitment and the team's level of detail on this. There's the laser cannon detailed shot.
We're going to need those, aren't we?
You're going to need them.
I'm ready. This is great. So not only do you have the Falcon that's taking you from the spaceport onto these galactic adventures, but you have this Resistance troop transport as well that is taking us from the Batuu spaceport.
And not everything always goes according to plan, so you may need those cannons along the way.
That is incredible. That is amazing.
It's a big galaxy, right? And I think so much of the Star Wars stories take us to new amazing places. And to do that, we have to get inside these spaceships and go places, right? So this is an example of how we're actually doing that. We're actually going to go into that ship and go someplace.
That's great. So you've got people in Asia working on that. You've got film crews and Imagineers in... I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted because I'm seeing Margaret grinning over here. Where else, Margaret? You have another story that you're dying to tell.
Yeah, we are so excited to share with all of you for the first time a very special character that we've come to love in the films and who actually played a minor role in the films, but all of you have raised him up into superstardom. So we're super excited to reveal for the very first time. Do we have any 9 fans out there?
He's so cute!
So, I don't know how many of you know this, but the original voice actor for 9 was a graduate student who was living in the Bay Area when they shot Return of the Jedi. So they used his voice and his language to record 9. And after that, he kind of disappeared, and we had a hard time trying to find him. So when we were shooting, Lucasfilm was shooting The Force Awakens, they wanted to find the original voice actor for 9 and found him in Kenya, where he's from. So we traveled to Kenya, of course, to record our original 9-num. And here's a little clip of Kipsan.
You want to see it? There it is.
My name is Kipsan Bintotich. I'm from Baringo County in the Rift Valley. I got a surprise contract by mail telling me that I've been nominated for a voice by Lucasfilm, and I was selected to be the voice of 9-num in Star Wars. That was the beginning. Until now, I got that surprise that I was being wanted again to be a voice of 9-num. My real nephew called me and he said, "Uncle, you know you're wanted in America." He told me to check on the internet. Many people impositing themselves as it is, they were 9-num. So there are over 1,000 people who are claiming to be me. It's amazing how 9-num has evolved in the last 12 years. He's become a very famous character. But I think that I'm going to be part of that voice to be played in Disney World. It's amazingly unbelievable. And I'm really happy to be that family of Star Wars who are bringing the whole world together and globally to unite humanity.
That's not just a wonderful video for Galaxy's Edge, which it is, but just as a Star Wars fan to see that. It's such a great story, and to finally put a face to that voice that we've been hearing since we were kids.
Yeah, we've heard his voice, and this is actually the first time we've seen Kipsan, the original voice actor, recorded in film. So we're just so honored that we can continue the tradition and meet and introduce familiar characters as well as new characters as well.
And you flew all the way to Kenya. That's amazing. What a great level of detail to pursue for Galaxy's Edge.
I think that's what you guys expect from us, right? Is to bring Star Wars to life with that level of authenticity. It's what we expect from ourselves. So yeah, we're not super happy to do it, but we feel like it's what we have to do. That's what we have to do to bring Galaxy's Edge to life.
That's great. Well, we've heard about all of the amazing work that's happening in Africa and Asia and Europe. I'm sure I'm not the only one who wants to know what amazing work is happening right here in Orlando, Florida. How's the crew doing in Orlando? What are you up to?
We are doing great. We've got an enormous amount of artisans, hundreds of artisans working in Orlando, Florida to bring this world to life for you guys. I'm very privileged to have a team that works under me who are building all the props and set dressing that are going to really bring this world to life. And the good thing about my crew is that they're all fans. They're like you guys. They love this. Their heart goes into everything they make. And they're so unbelievably happy to be working on this. Can you imagine going to work every day and getting to work on Star Wars? It's kind of crazy. So one of the coolest things we get to do is we've been working with the film crew, as they mentioned. My team and I have traveled to the UK, and we spent time on the film set of Episode 8 of Rogue One of Solo. I mean, it's crazy. I've been on a Star Wars film set. I'm a little guy from North Georgia. I can't believe this. It's amazing. Yeah, go dogs. Anyway. My crew, we've had people traveling around the world shopping for all the props and set dressing. We've had a crew in India shopping for us. We've hired the shoppers who work on the films to go with us to these places and to take us to all the places where they buy the props and set dressings and every little greebly bit that brings this world together. And making it perfect. The details are what's so important in this world, because you're going to get to stand and take photographs of this stuff for hours on end, so we want it to be exactly right. And I mean, everybody knows you guys are the best. I mean, for 40 years, you guys have been building this stuff, so it's a huge challenge for us to try and do it as good as you do. I mean, you guys know how to build the helmets and the blasters and the droids, and it's a huge undertaking to try and do it as good as these guys do. I've traveled everywhere, hundreds of miles out into the desert of California, digging through crashed aircraft, pulling pieces off airplanes, trying to make sure that everything is the exact little greebly bit that we need to not only match the film, but to really bring the world to life. And you know, it's all for you guys. And like I said, our hearts are completely in it because we're fans also. And today, I'm very privileged to get to introduce something new to you. As Scott mentioned earlier, we've got a really amazing market in this world where you can go in and buy the coolest little trinkets from this universe. And one of the places that we have is a creature stall. And we all love the creatures from Star Wars. You know, they're cute, they're cuddly, or they're very creepy. You know, there's a little bit of everything there. And in this world, you'll have a chance to take a couple of them home with you if you want to. I mean, who wouldn't want to take you know, some of these guys home? So that's going to be one of the highlights of our market area is our creature stall. And right now, our artists are working on bringing some of those creatures to life. And you know, we're working with Doug Chang and his team for the first time. A lot of these creatures are going from just being in books and existing in two-dimensional worlds to being real live creatures. So a lot of these guys have never been seen on film before that we're building. So it's a real honor for us to get to work with Doug and his team to be able to bring these guys to you for the very first time. Now, are there any Star Wars Rebels fans out there? How would you feel if we were bringing some Bobcats to life for you to see?
I'd be buying that sucker!
Well, right now our artists are working on Bobcats, and these will be living, breathing creatures that you're going to be able to see in our creature stall. It's such a challenge bringing these from a two-dimensional world into the real world. But, this is one of the very early sculpts that we were working on, and he's going to be a cute and terrifying little critter at the same time. But you guys will get to go into this into the creature stall, and you'll be able to walk around him, take your picture with him, and see this real living, breathing Bobcat. So anyway, I can't wait for you guys to see it. It's going to be amazing.
That is amazing. What a great thing to take something from animation and make it photoreal and 3D and something that is interactive. That's really incredible. And how great that there's so much Star Wars lore to pull from in terms of story.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we take our storytelling very, very seriously. And we know that you guys have fallen in love with the characters, the creatures, and the ships, and the places that we've seen in Star Wars, right? And we want, because we've seen this on the screen, we have to make this place a believable, authentic place. And we take that very seriously as well. So when we talked about, all right, we've announced to you that we're going to this planet, Batuu, but the planet is a big place, so where in Batuu are we going to? So we talked about what the name of this location is, and we'd like to reveal that to all of you tonight. Would you like to hear where we're going? So the name of our village that will be starting our adventures is Blackspire Outpost. And this is a very unique name for us. For hundreds of thousands of years, there was these tall, towering trees that were kind of the watchguards over the river valley. And over the years, these trees eroded and petrified into these rock formations. And these rock formations, they're a small percentage of what they used to be long, long time ago. And they've kind of made this landscape into what it is today. And so when it became a place for all these travelers to come and go, it was a landmark for them. And they named it Blackspire because of what they saw in this beautiful, beautiful land. And this was a wayfinding place. And one of the things that you do see when you come into the village, there is one spire that is more unique than all the rest. It's more blacker in color, and it's right in the center of the village. So not only was it a wayfinding for the travelers who came and went and said, you know, I'll meet you at Blackspire, but it really became the heart of the outpost. And we are really, really excited to share that with all of you.
I can't wait. I will see all of you at Blackspire, that's for sure. That's a great backstory and so much detail. And I know earlier this week you announced when we're going to experience Blackspire Outpost.
Yes, but you're right. There's, I think one of the things we're trying to do is make sure we tie all those stories together. As Margaret said, we're telling one giant Star Wars story that all connects to all the other forms of Star Wars storytelling. So I just love the kind of depth of detail in even understanding the geology and the deep, deep, deep backstory of these stories and characters and places.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah. Because of that, though, it does, you know, we are diligently working. You saw the video that John shared, and it gives you a sense of where we're at in progress. So we have a ways to go. But we did actually this week, you're right, make an announcement, a commitment to all of you about when you'll be able to join us in Black Spire Outpost. I could tell you that, or I could, actually, I love the video that we shared because it shows you another angle of Black Spire Outpost.
Want to see another video?
So, should we see? Okay, let's roll that video. I promise you to us it does not seem like a long way. There's a lot of stuff to get done between now and then. So we are working every day on it.
Just like the original Star Wars, right? You want to work to the very, very last minute on that. No detail is unimportant.
We will be, and we will be happy to share stuff with you all along as we go. Because, you know, again, we have a commitment to you all, the fans, that because again, we are fans ourselves, so we want to keep you guys all in the loop on that stuff.
Speaking of sharing, before we wrap up, I understand there's something else you wanted to show.
Yes. So, anybody join us in December for the Galactic Knights panels here? Okay. So those who are able to join us then might remember that we actually released the beginnings of our Star Wars Galaxy's Edge trading card sets. Which look like these, and they kind of introduce some of the stories, the characters, and the locations that are going to be part of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And for those of you who might have gotten more than one of them, if you looked on the back and you could put them together, you realize that they started to make a map of this outpost, of Black Spire Outpost. But the map was incomplete because the card set was incomplete. Tonight, you all are going to be the first group here at Star Wars Galactic Knights tonight to get the final set of cards to complete that first set and to be able to complete that map and learn some of the secrets and some of the backstory of Black Spire Outpost. In addition to introducing some additional characters and hints at some of the stories that will be part of Galaxy's Edge. So we want you guys to be the first ones to get those. Not here at the theater, but as you leave the park tonight, everyone will get one. Who wants one? You get a card. Yes, everyone gets the cards.
And what about these here?
Oh yeah, so also because tonight is, you guys are the first to hear about Black Spire Outpost, I should say this. We're hearing it for the first time, but Black Spire Outpost is a location that is well known to some of our favorite Star Wars characters, because it's been a part of their lives for a very long time, even if we're just hearing about it for the first time tonight. But because you guys are hearing about it first, also, tonight's the first night you'll be able to get a Black Spire Outpost lanyard and pin, and you can get these at the Gates of Hollywood or the 5 and Dime shop, and they're probably, you know, tonight's the first night these are available anywhere in the world, so you guys,
well, that's great. There's just so much to look forward to. I can't tell you how excited I am. You guys excited for 2019?